into this game as we're seeing it here, and on page 18, they're yelling back and forth. You're Reuben Malter, Danny says to him. Your father is David Malter, the one who writes articles about the Talmud. Your father thinks he's a big scholar, right? Yes, yes. I told my team we're going to kill you apocryphma this afternoon. Apocryphma. See that word there on page 18? I don't want to write it. You can see it in your book there. What's an apocryphma? Well, it's sort of like the religious people calling the lesser religious people unbelievers, heretics. And you won't believe it. This is how crazy these things are because it's out of the Talmudic literature. See, the Talmud is, I'll put it up here. Apocryphma. It actually is from the Greek Epicurean. Epicurean. You see it. It is from the Greek Epicurean. And it was a word going back to Greco-Roman times to accuse Jews who were backsliders of being too interested. What are Epicureans? They like beauty, they like art, they like good food, they like good living, of liking the beautiful things in life too much. So it's actually a slur going back 2,000 years to a situation in ancient Rome and Greece that has nothing whatever to do with Brooklyn. I guess you don't find that funny. Well, I think it's pretty funny. Anyway, that's the curse he's throwing at me. We wouldn't call Danny, or rather Reuben, an Epicurean. I don't think. He's about the last thing from an Epicurean that you could imagine. He's a very serious, too serious, dutiful person, and he's certainly not interested in the sensual, beautiful things of life. He's mostly interested in studying and scholarship. That's Reuben. In fact, Danny's more interested in the beautiful things in life, as it turns out. So the conversation goes back and forth, and finally they're not doing so well, the team that he represents and the team that Reuben represents. And so Reuben finally goes in. He's playing second base, I think. He goes into pitch. Before we get there, look there's more about apocryphalism on 23. Remembering Danny Sanders' promise that he would kill us apocryphs. The word meant originally a Jew educated in Judaism who denied the basic tenets of the faith, the existence of God, the revelation, the resurrection of the dead. To people like Reb Sanders, it also meant any educated Jewish person who might be reading, let's say, a modern book like Darwin, or who was not wearing fringes or side curls and this sort of thing. To Danny Sanders, I was an apokoros, despite my belief in God and my belief in the Torah, which is the book of Moses. I didn't have side curls and was attending a parochial school where we studied a lot of English, but this was an unheard of sin for them. So he explains in his own way. I think I gave a better explanation of what it meant. So the two have an instant love-hate relationship. Often you end up being really good friends with someone who you initially despised when you first met them. Probably the fact you despised them meant that you were either jealous of them or they frightened you. And after they get over the fear of each other, they become tremendous friends. So here on page, I guess it's 29 or so, right before the end of the chapter, he throws this final pitch because he wants to get done quickly. Danny's up at bat. I watched it head straight for the plate. I saw him go into a sudden crouch. In a fraction of a second before he hit the ball, I realized that he had anticipated the curve of the ball that I was throwing. He deliberately swung low. He says he does it on purpose. I was still a little off balance from the pitch, but I managed to bring my glove hand up in front of my face just as he hit the ball.